And what a surprise, no one's talking about this. The FCC is being inundated by special interest group ironically named Free Press, whose goal it is to limit America's free press and freedom of speech. This special interest group also claims that it's due to special interest groups that it has become necessary for them to intervene on our behalf. Well, how great. Free Press is pushing their agenda in the name of net neutrality. Supposedly, they are protecting net neutrality and free speech on the internet and in other media. Yet, who's complaining about the neutrality on the internet? I mean, is there some major outcry that I just haven't heard about yet? Americans have never had more access to more outlets to express themselves than they do right now. Anyone in America with a computer and an internet connection can sit in their basement in their underpants eating biscuits while they bang on their keyboards all night and day while mom's upstairs sleeping. They're like, "Can you stop me? Go get a job!" They can literally say whatever they want anytime they want. So what is the problem? Seems to me there isn't one if free speech really is your goal. I mean, really, what's connecting us unlike any other time? The internet. But you see, free press isn't about free speech. It's about Marxism. It's about silencing dissent. Free press is an oxymoron started by an oxy-Marxist. His name is Robert McChesney. In addition to co-founding Free Press, he's also the former editor of the Monthly Review. This is a self-proclaimed independent socialist magazine, I don't want to call names, an openly Marxist publication. Sounds like Free Press advocates so far, doesn't it? Oh, there you go again, throwing out wild accusations. The puppet thing that I got at Disney World's not really working, is it? It's really not a smear when you use people's own words. McChesney, in his own words, any serious effort to reform the media system would have to necessarily be part of a revolutionary program to overthrow the capitalist system itself. Also, there is no real answer but to remove brick by brick the capitalist system itself, rebuilding the entire society on socialist principles. I don't mean to sound hateful by pointing out his own words. Is it a smear campaign now to quote, directly quote, these wonderful lovers of our American way of life? Again, here's Free Press co-founder Robert McChesney in his own words, quote, "We need to do whatever we can to limit capitalist propaganda, regulate it, minimize it, and perhaps even eliminate it." Now, granted, McChesney has said these hateful things all the way back in August of 2009. Do you even remember how old you were in August of 2009? It's hard to believe that we even had, recording devices back that far. The above-mentioned quotes on capitalism came from Robert even further back, way back in the time tunnel of February 2009. Weren't the dinosaurs walking around then? I'm not sure about the dinosaurs, but I do think the Crusades were just winding down and the Black Plague had just started kicking back in. But that's what this so-called net neutrality effort is really all about. Your kids have heard about it, I can guarantee. It's about eliminating traditional constitutional points of view from the public arena. But that's not the way it's being built. It is about stopping debate, but nobody will tell you that. It's about ending free speech. It is about Marxism. No. Our kids aren't taught that. That's not the way they're positioning it. Next, a sampling of FCC comments from concerned citizens on net neutrality. Remember I showed you a minute ago? I showed you here's the president, and here's his advisors, and look, they all have something in common, a boycott of the poster child. Wait until you see the comments that are rolling in now to the FCC about net neutrality. I wonder who they might be targeting yet again. Now, Robert McChesney from Free Press, a Marxist, a socialist, his words, not mine, and somebody who is working feverishly, trying to make sure that freedom of speech, because that's what all Marxists and socialists do, they make sure that freedom of speech is ample, you know what I mean, and protected. The FCC has a comment section about net neutrality because there is a hearing this week, and it's pretty important. The FCC is seeking public comment this week, as we found out from Phil Kerpen. And of course, we have some mail here, and these are just concerned citizens who are not part of any kind of astroturf. Robert McChesney, oh, these are people just like you that want to save free speech by taking away free speech. From David, see if you find a pattern here. From David, before the FCC decided to pursue net neutrality protections, Fox News Channel's Glenn Beck warned his audience that the government was trying to take over the media. Next page. Do we have it? Yes. Beck later said that net neutrality would wildly affect your life and free speech. It will. By forcing a Marxist utopia on the internet. Oh, I only got that from Free Press. Head Marxist. Well, I don't know if he's the head Marxist, but he's a pretty big Marxist. Anyway, a Marxist utopia on the internet. Take away Fox News' license to broadcast for the good of America and the world. Remember, though, this is their idea to protect free speech. Pam writes, before the FCC decided to pursue net neutrality protections, Fox News Channel's Glenn Beck warned his audience that the government was trying to take over the media. Beck later would say net neutrality would wildly affect your life and free speech. Boy, this seems familiar. By forcing Marxist utopia on the internet. Glenn Beck is fanning the flames of partisanship and hatred. Of course, considering where he works, it's understandable. Mike then goes on and says this. Let's see if I can do this. Before the FCC decided to pursue net neutrality protections, Fox News Channel's Glenn Beck warned his audience that the government was trying to take over the media. Beck later said that net neutrality would, we always get stuck here, wildly affect your life and free speech by forcing a Marxist utopia on the internet. What a wild coincidence. Tell Glenn Beck that maybe Marxist utopia might work better than the corporate bull that we have now. Who said they would start saying that? Oh, I remember. That sure has, that has been the case wherever Marxism has been tried. It's much, much better than what's happening here in America. Brian adds, before the FCC decided to pursue net neutrality protections, Fox News Channel's Glenn Beck warned his audience that the government was trying to take over the media. Beck later said net neutrality would wildly affect your life and free speech by forcing a Marxist utopia on the internet. Send this sicko to the funny farm, preferably in another country, because he sure as hell is an American. You know, there's nothing more American than deporting people who disagree with you, right, Brian? Oh, Thomas Jefferson must be so proud right now. Apparently, great Marxist minds think alike. Thank goodness Free Press is out there, right here, with the president. It's great. Trying to curb the influence of special interest on the internet. Now, if you happen to have an opposing view, there is a website for you. I'm not going to write the first paragraph for you, but I understand somebody does help you through the first part. Here's the website, nointernettakeover.com. That's it, nointernettakeover.com. You might want to drop them up.
MoveOn.org and SEIU join forces to mock Glenn. Next.
I have to tell you, there is something that is amazing that you need to understand, because it's a very specific plan of attack against this program since it came on the air. But it's really not about us. It's about you. the viewer of this program. The goal is to get you to shut up. Not me, but you. Last year, there was a